The barrage of sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Police and prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the flew, and it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Islands, and days before an arrest. Here was no music video. The footage shows a McLaren sports car, Mercedes Maybach, and another Mercedes pull into this East Bay Harbor Drive condo parking lot.
Pooh Shiesty has just sent out a message from his jail cell, speaking on the ops that are disrespecting him for allegedly snitching. To understand Shiesty's message, we first need to learn how Shiesty allegedly snitched. As Akademiks explains, Shiesty's current situation in jail isn't normal for someone that committed his charges.
But salute to Pooh Shiesty, who looked like he's absolutely chilling in jail. My boy got a little Richard Millie, you know what I mean? Got the haircut all right. You know what I mean?
They be playing Fortnite Mobile.
In jail? Oh, he got the Timbs on. They look fresh as well. Yo, this so chilling in prison. He got 2 watches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, 2 watches, not even 1.
As in the original crime documents, it begins with Shiesty and his friend setting up a meet for high-end sneakers and narcotics on IG, as Pooh Shiesty is seen then arriving to the meet, driving a bright green rented McLaren sports car. Awaiting the seller's arrival, Shiesty and his boy would create a plan to steal the items against these 2 men rather than pay for them. Once the seller arrives, Shiesty is then seen opening up his butterfly door of his McLaren. The seller walks over, hands over the pair of sneakers so Shiesty can do a legit check. While examining the sneakers and then beginning to negotiate a price for these goods, a small argument would then brew up between Shiesty and the seller. Things began getting very heated until Shiesty was seen grabbing a firearm from out of his waistband. Once he reaches for it, you could see the 2 men begin sprinting away, trying to duck for cover behind their own vehicle. Sadly, they were not quick enough. Shiesty ends up using his firearm, hitting both, one in the hip and one in the backside. While Shiesty was handling the 2 men, his boy was in charge of grabbing any extra sneakers or narcotics from inside the seller's car. He's seen grabbing some extra goods, begins sprinting to his side of the McLaren, throwing the items in and closing the passenger door. Shiesty is seen making sure his job is getting done before sprinting over to his side of the car. Shiesty quickly hops into his side of the McLaren. However, while closing his butterfly door, he didn't realize but a Louis V bag that was sitting in the side door pocket then fell onto the cement inside of the parking lot. Without realizing it, Shiesty then just left $40,912 in cash onto the cement while trying to drive away as fast as he can to the nearest airport. Pooh Shiesty went straight to the closest Miami airport. He rented out a private jet. He flew straight out of Miami, Florida. However, Shiesty would be arrested in the following days.
The town of Bay Harbor Islands says you're wanted with a He's also charged with armed robbery, battery in their affidavit, saying the 2 left the state in a private jet.
Once being booked into jail, he bonded out for $30,000 in cash. Then being on bond for roughly 2 months, Pooh Shiesty would then be officially arrested for his charges.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest warrant. It was issued June 3rd. It's charging you. You have 2 attorneys here. Or is it, I'm sorry, 2 attorneys in the state. Go ahead. You want to announce again?
Brad Cohen and Sam Zegny for the defendant.
Have you had a chance to review your resume?
Yes, Judge, we have.
Then fast forward to April 20th, roughly 4 months after his court appearance, DJ Akademiks would tweet, Pooh Shiesty sentenced to 63 months in prison. He was facing 8 years. As the Memphis rapper would then be officially sentenced. As Akademiks though would reveal very recently that Shiesty is already almost near being released.
And I think he's coming home like next year, maybe the year after. However, it looked like he's, you know, taking responsibility of whatever happened and doing his time, not crying, clearly trying to let people know he's straight. And I do think when he comes back out, granted, as long as it's not like too far from now, If he comes back in a year, he's good. I still think even within 2 years, he's
63 months inside a federal prison for firearm charges and robbery seems very low, not to mention the chance at an early release on good behavior. Now it is for one specific reason. Many believe Shiesty snitched, however, he created what's known as a proffer deal with the feds. As some do look at this as snitching, a proffer is when a criminal proves additional information to the feds relating to the offense for which immunity, or in Shiesty's case, a lesser sentence, is then granted. Shiesty used this proffer deal to have charges of 8 years in prison to life dropped in exchange for 63 months. However, now we're seeing rappers call out Shiesty for working with the feds, giving them information on this case and those involved. However, when you read the fine print in the court documents, it does sound as if he did snitch, but in reality, he only snitched on himself, giving the judge and prosecutors the information on himself to make the trial process as simple as possible. As the judge would state, Shiesty is responsible for writing out multiple mistakes that he made throughout his armed robbery and what he has learned from doing this crime. Now, the first mistake that Shiesty wrote is that he committed an armed robbery right beside a police station. The video footage you see here is recorded from police station cameras. Once the sound of firearms in the area were heard, several police cars began driving to the parking lot with their sirens very loud in the area, causing Shiesty to try to escape as fast as possible, leading him to losing his Louis V bag. As with law enforcement knowing exactly the location of the armed robbery, it didn't take long for them to look through the recording tapes from the video camera across the street. Also, with law enforcement arriving as fast as they did, they are the ones that grabbed the Louis V bag on the cement. The feds already had an idea of who committed this armed robbery due to the video surveillance. However, it was when Pooh Shiesty, while going onto the private jet after committing the armed robbery, posted to his Instagram 2 photos of him flexing the same all-green McLaren he just committed an armed robbery in. Yes, remember when Shiesty escaped the parking lot, went straight to the closest airport, rented a private jet, and flew out? While the private jet was getting ready to take off, Shiesty flexed the all-green McLaren on Instagram, only 1.5 to 2 hours after committing the crime. I wish I was lying. So the feds just remained on Pooh Shiesty's Instagram. They then downloaded a few photos, and there were photos of Shiesty stretching many $100 bills across of his body. Well, the feds then downloaded these photos, zoomed in on them where you could see the serial numbers on the bills, and they noticed that on one of the photos, the serial number on the bill matched one of the $100 bills found inside of the Louis V bag, which then leads to the 3 mistakes that Pooh Shiesty made. However, rappers continued calling Pooh Shiesty a snitch, causing him to receive a bad rep inside of the music game. Big 30 would then vouch for him on IG.
On my mama, if you see some paperwork, my mama, I do whatever y'all tell me to do, cause my eyebrows, mustache, hair, I throw my chains in the river and jump in and if Shiesty snitch. Go home, take one to the I ain't got no more rat.
As this then led into Shiesty in jail, sending out a message for us, calling out the ops that are disrespecting him, which goes on and reads, King Shiesty tapping in from the middle of the penitentiary, aka a bad place, where they say I can't go, jailing no telling. I still remain untouched, millions still in double digits. Tell Google to fix my net worth, we can verify that right now. I'm locked up, I'm not messed up. I was 21 up 8 figures, Jay-Z can't even relate to my money. Triple my followers, stop playing with my name before I buy one of you for sale. You guys aren't anything. I put on for the CG stuff every day. Twice on Sundays, I'm on the same stuff from Tokyo to Tennessee. Ain't gonna go fed and start getting scared. No one's never played with me free or in jail. I'm still the man of Memphis, still the king no matter what jungle. Slick, almost the same man, just a little more powerful. You know what I'm talking about, baby Larry. How are you gonna let a man in the feds outdo you? You can't beat me at even crawling backwards. You're gonna have to get your hand and your stick game up before you could do some with me. Stop playing so much. For my fans, supporters, loved ones holding me down every day, keep keeping it solid. I promise it does not go unnoticed. I see everything, and I got something special for all of the world. The rest of you guys, though, is done. Keep hating, false advertising, backbiting, counting me out. It's up and it's stuck like a treehouse. I'm touching down. I got a Dorito on my shoulder. I'm going 100% on you guys. As while Pooh Shiesty's in jail standing tall, sending out messages to his ops, he did share a message during an interview before being arrested, which is important to hear.
Really, when I got signed, but I'm gonna tell you before I got signed, like breaking news. The verse on breaking news made everybody go crazy. And folks start saying I'm their favorite rapper already, so I'm gonna stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just made me go harder.
So the success kind of gave you the confidence to really keep it up?
Yeah, they rocking with me for sure.
Man.
It's in my first verse.